All monks, all nuns, practitioners. In the Flower Adornment Sutra, it has a verse talking about a bell, the bell. Vow the sound of the bell pervade to all the Dharma realm. Actually, in brief, hoping that all beings to get enlightened. So the sound of the bell actually help us to, it symbolized to wake us up. So while the sound of the bell pervade all the 10 direction of the Dharma realm. So even the hell, the worst one, the beings from that hell can still hear. So the sound, when it get to the state of purity, will get to the state of enlightenment. So when we're talking about this purity to the final state, to the then we'll get enlightened. So this is just an analogy. You borrow the sound of the bell to point out the self nature, but the self nature cannot be. It doesn't have appearance, doesn't have the form. There's no location, but this is just the analogy, so that we can believe in our own mind, so that we can practice. So when we believe in our own mind and begin to practice, we need to practice to get all the way. But because of our ignorance and self-attachment, because of the discrimination that keep distracting us, so that's why the patriarchs keep reminding us to follow the rules, follow the regulation, and prioritize. The practice has to be number one. Has to be number one priority. But we never put the practice as number one priority. But we used all kind of discrimination, all kind of things. We put it in the number one priority, and this is really go against our mind that we bring forth to practice. So that's why all these things keep tying us down. So that's why the patriarch said, our mind, we actually tie ourselves down. In the Buddha's time, when the Buddha came out from the forest, and due to the assembly, they're not living in harmony. So the Buddha went away. to let the assembly know that it's not easy to live harmony, to live without the Buddha. So when the Buddha came back, everyone was happy, excited. And during that time, so that before he arrived, these nuns, she already got the power penetration, and she tried to go out and see the Buddha before everyone. So when she encountered Buddha, even though she's the first one to see the Buddha coming back, but the Buddha already knew that she was doing this has to do with her self-attachment. It has to do with her ego, not following the rules. So actually, the Buddha blamed her. So from this example, we don't follow the rules and regulation, but we actually following our consciousness, our discrimination, the mind of differentiation. There are many stories, many examples. The Buddha have taught the patriarchs, and the patriarchs keep reminding us, but we don't recognize this. We keep going after we follow our self-attachment, and we just keep differentiate things. So this is the one that I try to remind everyone. So the patriarch set out the rules and regulations for everyone to practice, to follow. So the patriarchs had, they have mentioned anyone who do not follow the rules and regulations is like they try to destroy the assembly. They actually create more affliction for themselves. So anyone who has any question or any sharing, you can bring it up. Namo Sakamuni Buddha. Namo Sakamuni Buddha. Dear Master, dear everyone. We try to do everything with our ego. You have been reminding us, when we practice, we need to ask the question, give rise to a doubt, and that's the only thing that you can try to maintain. But our practice, you keep mentioning about our practice. You keep scolding us. That's why we keep reminding us all the time. But because of our habits, we are still unable to correct them. So just like yesterday, you have an instruction saying that the good no advisor, and you also have mentioned very clearly about good no advisors, favorable ones and unfavorable ones. So these two favorable and unfavorables, we encounter this all the time. But when we practice, we face with the unfavorable condition. It seems like we lose our practice, and we lose our practice without knowing, without recognizing, and we don't know how to apply the practice into this situation. So our practice is still with still in self-attachment, and you keep reminding it, pointing it out, but we not able to get out of it yet. We want everything has to go with our own way. But when we encounter difficult situation and we lose our practice, and that's why we always stay within the self-attachment. So I hope that you can explain this a little bit more. When we talk about can you explain a little bit between the evil good no advisors or wholesome good no advisors? When we're talking about evil or wholesome, this has to do with the differentiation. This is still in duality. That's why we differentiate evil, good, and evil. And so just like hell, and so even the heaven, there's still good and bad, good and evil. It's different from the animal realms. So all this has to do with the perception, has to do with has to do with our differentiation, thought of differentiation. So when we have less self-attachment, then we have less perception, less discrimination. But it's still within the discrimination. So when we have differentiation, it's still within the self-attachment. So a lot of times, because it's in duality, we don't have a clear understanding about the karma with the 3 times, past, present, and future. So sometimes we see things that is really good, really wholesome, but it's actually it could be evil, could be bad. This has to do with our ignorance. This has to do with the knowledge, because our knowledge is not as the pure state yet. So because our knowledge is not as the pure state, that's why we keep raising all these differentiations. So because of this, it's not easy for us to know which is really good and which is really bad. So it has to do with the knowledge that we have is it has a limitation. We don't know the cause and effect for the three times. So all the cause and effect has to do with our false mind, and all this cause and effect is still in the dream, and if it's in a dream, it's not real. So good or bad, we still have to leave them behind. So actually, if we break through the self-attachment, let go of the self-attachment, then actually we leave behind the good and evil, the duality. So seeing, hearing, acknowledging, understanding, if we get to the state of purity, then all this knowledge will be, we can penetrate to a perfection. All this has to do with our mind, our false mind, because our false mind keep differentiate things. So, but if we get to the state of being pure, so pure, then what we listen to the Buddha's teaching, when we listen just one sentence, but we understand like we have a fully understanding, just like the six patriarchs, when he heard one sentence and he understood the meaning of the teaching. So because we have all kind of attachment, that's why the patriots set out the rules and regulations so that we can follow. So if we can maintain the practice, follow the rules and regulations, it will help us. So patriots, good advisors, keep bringing out different angles from the teaching. For us, all this is a skillful means for us to understand and believe in our own mind, to break through the self-attachment, so that we can get to the state of no attending, no gain, no seeking, and no fear. But because we don't try to get familiar with the practice, so if we get familiar with the practice, it's like we are trying to protect the proper Dharma, but we don't maintain the practice. That's why we keep staying with the ignorance. We try to Petra keep reminding us every day, like in the meditation hall every day. So a lot of times the Buddha has given an example We don't know how to. About the fire, we're taking the fire to burn ourselves, and sometimes we use our fire to burn others. We don't know how to keep ourselves within the rules and regulations and precepts so that we can practice. So we have the precepts, we have the rules and regulations, and with the practice. And without all this, we're more likely to react just like taking medication. And we don't take the medication carefully. Not the right dosage, not the right direction. So we will have reaction and we harm ourselves. So the practice is similar. So as a patient, we need to follow and try to follow the doctor's recommendation so that our sickness will be reduced, or overcome our sickness. So we need to cooperate. As a patient, we need to cooperate with the doctor. So similar in our practice. Every day we share our experience with each other. So if we do this every day, it's like we are living in the halo of the Buddha. This is the Buddha, the light, the triple jewels, the light of the enlightenment. So do you understand what I try to explain? Yes, I do. You have mentioned about you need to find the good no advisors within ourselves. Self-nature, good no advisors. So still unfavorable condition and favorable condition. Good. So like good one and bad one. Good advisor and bad advisors. Everything has to do with skillful means. Spoken language from Theravada to from small vehicle, middle vehicle, and great vehicle. If we practice according to the skillful means, like bring forth the Bodhi mind, perform the Bodhisattva's path, act, conduct. So we, in the beginning, when we bring forth the Bodhi mind, we need to know the meaning of bring forth the Bodhi mind. So when we act out or perform all the Bodhisattva's act, then we need to understand that when we bring forth the Bodhi mind is to not have any seeking, any attaining. So the Buddha pointed out we need to leave behind the object. When we bring forth the Bodhi mind, we do everything, but we never forget our Bodhi mind. We perform all tasks, and we never forget that in the beginning we bring forth the Bodhi mind. if we keep differentiate good and bad, then it's just like so evil and bad, evil and good. If it's counteracting one another, it's like the mind. The mind is so good, bad. Still, if we differentiate this is still in duality. So when we bring forth the body mind, we should not have any thought of seeking, not have a thought of gaining. And this is the wholesome path. And if we, when we maintain the practice, leaving the duality, we'll be able to enter the door of non-duality. Due to our self-attachment and ignorance, we don't be a lot of time we not be able to recognize within the wholesome there's evil, within evil there's wholesome. So it has to do with because of our ignorance. Sometimes we not be able to recognize within the wrong as the right, within the right as the wrong. Sometimes we see an advisor, we encounter an advisor, they keep praising us, they keep follow us, they listen to whatever we tell them to do. But sometimes they turn into it could be an evil advisor. But sometimes when we encounter advisor, they keep scolding us, yelling at us, correcting us, maintaining our mistakes. But they could be the good no advisor. So as a practitioner, when we encounter this both of these advisors, good one or bad one, we don't give rise to a thought of like and dislike. So prajna, when we're talking about prajna, form and emptiness is non-duality. When we get to the self nature, so our practice, and another angle we're talking about is not to produce outflow thought. If we maintain the practice, that's inflow. So when we practice, when we get to the self-nature, there's no more self-attachment, no more differentiation, then that is the good no advisor from the self-nature. So keep reminding ourselves the 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 true good no advisors is actually our self-nature. But when we want to get to the self-nature, we need to practice. So when we get this, it's actually get to the state of completely enlightenment. And that is the meaning of good no advisors.
Con cảm ơn thầy rất là nhiều. Thiền tri thức thì chỉ có một, tất cả đều là thiền tri thức, nhưng mà do cái sự chấp trước.
So due to our attachment, due to our differentiation, that's why we
thế này thế kia. Con cảm ơn thầy rất là nhiều. Các thầy cho con.
Thanks.